Right now at 10, a Portage police officer appears in court for child abuse. We'll tell you where the judge set his bond. And the U.S. is facing a housing shortage. We speak with local builders who are adding to the Madison market. Plus, the Packers prepare to face off against the Seattle Seahawks. Which quarterback is looking to impress the Green and Gold's head coach? And that's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off tonight. We begin with developing news. Cash bond has been set for the Portage police officer accused of abusing his 6-month-old son. Our Maddie Heimsch brings us to his initial appearance at the Sauk County Courthouse.
Officer Cameron Coronado's bail is set at $10,000 after facing a Sauk County judge and charges of child and domestic abuse. According to a criminal complaint, Coronado was arrested after his wife brought their 6-month-old to the hospital and a CT scan found bleeding in the child's brain. The injury allegedly caused by Coronado's physical abuse that the state attorney argues is a pattern of behavior.
He was reported as having a low frustration tolerance for kids, and the criminal complaint references numerous alleged incidents.
The state attorney also sharing for the first time details taking place after the complaint was filed, alleging Coronado expressed suicidal thoughts and went to the hospital himself.
Reportedly checked himself into a hospital under a patient privacy option, which essentially rendered him unreachable by law enforcement.
The public defender using Coronado's own history as an officer to advocate for a lower bond, specifically no more than $1,000.
Having served as a member of law enforcement himself, he does have significant respect for law enforcement officers and the justice system.
But the judge instead setting bond in line with the state's recommendation. $10,000.
The public does need to be protected against the behavior that we see narrated in the criminal complaint. And finally, bond can be used per statute to prevent intimidation of witnesses.
$10,000, I think that is a reasonable request.
The judge also ordered the man to have no contact with his wife or children. Coronado's preliminary hearing is scheduled for September 3rd. Reporting in Sauk County, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. And according to the Portage Police Chief, Coronado has been placed on paid administrative leave from that department. In other news, today is the first day back for students of Abundant Life Christian School. Last December, a student opened fire, killing a teacher, a student, and ultimately herself. And tomorrow, the father of the shooter will be in court again. Jeffrey Ruppnow is charged with 2 counts of intentionally selling a dangerous weapon to a person under 18 and also contributing to child delinquency. A criminal complaint alleges that Ruppnow gave his daughter access to guns despite knowing about her mental health issues. Earlier this week, his attorneys requested to have that complaint dismissed. Well, it was a nice stretch of weather. We're going to head to Alex now with news of a possible cool down soon.
And a pretty significant cool down for the latter part of August, when I'm forecasting temperatures that are closer to what you'd see at the end of September. Not right away. Thursday and Friday will be up near 80 degrees, 75 on Saturday. It's Sunday going into Monday, even into Tuesday, where our temperatures will be in the upper 60s to right around 70. Overnight low temperatures in the 40s, upper 40s. So we're going to get a taste of fall-like weather in our forecast, and then we'll slowly moderate our temperatures back up into the lower 70s. But my guess is, because it's still summertime, we've had a long stretch of very warm and humid conditions and stormy weather, that this will be a nice period of time to enjoy. One chance of rain, and that's Friday night going into the very, very early morning hours of Saturday. We're going to be tracking that line of showers and thunderstorms when you join me in just a little bit. And also want to put out there that we're going to have the very likelihood here of some dense fog as we go on into Thursday morning. So when you see me next in about 15 minutes, we're going to track the rest of the foggy conditions. Will we have fog again Friday morning? And what does that line of showers and thunderstorms look like come Friday night? I'll let you know in just a couple of minutes.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Alex. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway has appointed a new city clerk. Lydia McComas replaces Maribeth Witzel-Beal following an investigation where nearly 200 absentee ballots went uncounted in the November ballot. McComas previously worked as a voter engagement Employment Division Manager with Hennepin County in Minnesota. Her first day at the city clerk's office here will be September 29th. Well, according to a new list from Realtor.com, the Madison metro area is a prime spot to build your home from the ground up. One local builder says recently the number of people choosing to build new have stayed consistent, while the shortage of homes for sale in Dane County is making that more enticing. And even though only 14% of homeowners in the county can afford the average cost of building a home, he says there are still options in the area.
Higher end lots and a little more diverse layouts. And then there's some areas where the lots are more typical, less expensive.
Madison is the only Midwest metro to make its home among the top 10, but economists say for this market to truly excel, there needs to be less red tape. Wisconsin lawmakers are proposing a way to make back-to-school shopping easier with a tax holiday. The 3-day tax holiday would suspend local and state sales tax for school items. This includes exemptions on clothes with a cap at $150 per item, and then school supplies with a cap at $100 an item.
And it's no secret that not every family can afford this annual bill. There's more that we can and must do to combat the challenges of rising costs.
On average, families spend $144 on school supplies per child. Now, Wisconsin sales tax is 5%, and then Dane County sales tax is 0.5. So if you spend $144, you'd just be saving about $8. It's not unusual for students to struggle getting out of bed when it's time to head to school, but if they want to avoid the classroom on a regular basis, experts say there could be something wrong. Pediatric psychologists say emotional distress may not look the same in children as it does adults. Warning signs may include tantrums or even anger. There may also be physical symptoms like stomach aches and headaches, which could also be a mental health concern.
As parents, we want to often shield our kids from those difficult emotions. What happens though is if we let a child avoid, stay home from school, it actually makes the anxiety grow.
Health experts recommend parents sit down with their children and get to the root of the problem. Try to validate what they're feeling, let them know you understand, and then work together to problem solve. News 3 Now's Stuff the Bus Drive may be over, but there is still plenty of work to be done. Volunteers have been sorting the donated supplies this week, and then tomorrow they'll start doling out the goods to families at Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County locations. Stop by with kids to get supplies while they last, tour the clubs, and enjoy free food and games. Well, today is the day. WISC-TV and Television Wisconsin have activated 2 new transmitters to help provide antenna viewers with a more clear picture of our programming. If you haven't already done so, you will need to re-scan your TV to get that improved signal. Eric Franke shares how the investment builds on our company's legacy.
At more than 1,400 feet above Madison's far west side, WISC-TV broadcasts our over-the-air signal to homes all across southern Wisconsin. But for some, it's been tough to get that signal.
We realized through an analysis and an audit of who we were reaching across our entire viewing area that we needed to strengthen our signal.
WISC's Vice President and General Manager Scott Chastain says issues like pixelation and complete signal loss top the list of common problems that will soon be going away.
We want to reach as many of our viewers in southern Wisconsin as possible.
Morgan Murphy Media, the family-owned and operated parent company of News 3 Now, invested nearly $1 million to install 2 new broadcast antennas, one on Madison's far west side and another placed on a tower northwest of Janesville. Regional Director of Engineering Michael Strebe says due to a number of technical limitations, our existing signal wasn't getting to as many people as we would like. This is especially true for people who live in large apartment buildings.
They can't put an antenna on the roof. For an example, if you're in an apartment building, you have these little flat panel antennas. Those will pick us up a lot better with the UHF signals that are going through.
Viewers who watch News 3 Now and other CBS programming over the air can now rescan their TVs to pick up the new signals. Chastain believes the project to improve the signal builds our company legacy in southern Wisconsin and positions us to better serve you, our viewers.
It shows that we're investing in this community, and it shows that we're investing in keeping people informed and keeping people safe.
Eric Franke, News 3 Now.
The improvements to our signal will not only be noticed by viewers who watch us over the air, they will only be. If you watch WISC-TV on cable, satellite, or streaming, you won't need to make any changes at all. Well, still to come tonight, Alex tells us about our rain chances for the week, and the Texas House of Representatives passes its redistricting plans, how Democrats are challenging the measure when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
After weeks of tensions, the Republican-controlled Texas House passed a controversial redistricting plan that now heads to the Texas Senate. The new map positions the Republicans to pick up 5 more U.S. House seats in the upcoming midterm election. Now, opponents of the bill protested at the state capitol there, where Democrats continue to call the new maps discriminatory.
Can you explain to us what the residents in East Austin have in common with the residents in Port Aransas?
This part of the fight is over, but it is merely the first chapter.
And now Californian Democrats are moving ahead with new congressional maps of their own to counter the move by Texas. But both Californian Republicans and Democrats in Texas plan to challenge all of these redistricting plans in court. Hurricane Erin is picking up steam and could strengthen again into a major Category 3 hurricane tomorrow. The strong Category 2 hurricane is churning in the Atlantic and has not made landfall, but it is creating giant swells that will send waves up to 20 feet high crashing into communities. More than 20 towns up and down the coast are at high risk of life-threatening rip currents. And here in the Madison region, the nice weather is continuing and then some for the rest of the week. Alex, do we have any rain in the forecast?
We do have some rain in the forecast, just a tiny bit of rain in the forecast. That's going to come in Friday night with isolated thunderstorms. But before that, our attention is on the dense fog. We had fog this morning, we have dense fog in the forecast for tonight, and we have dense fog in the forecast for tomorrow night before that stretch of really nice weather continues to carry us out into next week. But let's get on the fog here, because as you wake up to tomorrow morning, those foggy conditions could have visibilities as low as 0. Yes, 0 at 6 o'clock in the morning, perhaps a half a mile visibility in Madison, half mile in the Wisconsin River Valley. And as I've been saying the past couple of nights, you need to take this seriously, because fog can be really tricky. You can be high up on a hill, no fog at all. You go down the hill and then you're in that dense fog, and you don't know if there's another car there that maybe had to stop for whatever reason. And sometimes we get car accidents that evolve. Hopefully that is not the case. Take it easy. Then we repeat as we go into Thursday night, going into Friday morning, but just the fog not quite as dense. Look at the 3/4 of a mile visibility in Monroe, a mile in Madison, a mile in Janesville. So that'd be some improvement as we go into Friday morning. And then again, we see the fog burn off during the day on Friday. This will be accompanied with temperatures in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. We'll do 58 for low in Camp Douglas, 61 in Madison, 60 in Janesville. So pleasant conditions, pleasant temperatures on Thursday. I will make a point here. If we can't get the fog and the clouds to clear out similar to today, then those high temperatures may be more in the mid-70s, but I'm probably not going to have too many complaints when we've had all this very warm and humid stuff, and now we're being replaced with much more comfortable temperatures. Then that rain chance. That one rain chance, that's going to be Friday night as we take note of that stray shower to scattered thunderstorm activity. But that front's going to be coming through at a non-optimal time, and we've talked about this too. When fronts come through late at night, they lose some of their oomph, so we're probably not going to be looking at widespread thunderstorms Friday night going into Saturday morning. In fact, the line may be weakening some. Still could have the hazards of lightning, heavy rain, some gusty winds, and some small hail. We'll be keeping an eye on that storm chance at night on Friday night. Saturday going on into Sunday, though, behind this, we're going to usher in those really cool temperatures in the upper 60s. Taking note as well, Sarah, in southern Wisconsin, that we may actually have to lower these temperatures a little bit. I was just looking at some of our weather models. We may have highs in the mid 60s 50s in some cases, lows in the upper 40s in many cases as we go Sunday on into Monday, and then a slow climb back up to what we would resemble as normal for this time of year. But again, this is going to be a really refreshing period for southern Wisconsin. Going further out into September, when you see dark blues across a good portion of the country, that means a lot of the country is going to be experiencing the likelihood of cooler than normal conditions as we go further out into September. So the warm stuff that we had, well, that's just a thing in the past for now, but we know, though, in September it can get hot again.
You used the right words when you said for now, but enjoy it while it lasts. That looks so gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks nice. You can give the AC a break and save a couple pennies.
All right, thank you, Alex.
You bet.
Well, the Packers are preparing to face off against the Seattle Seahawks at Lambeau Field this weekend, but before the final preseason game, the two teams will have a joint practice. And as News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells it, one of their backup quarterbacks is looking to impress.
Growing up in London, Ontario, Taylor Elgersma was like every other sports-loving Canadian kid. He played hockey and a little baseball as well. But once he got to 10th grade, he discovered football, and it was love at first sight for him. It has now taken him all the way to the NFL and a chance at the number 3 quarterback job with the Green Bay Packers. He's got 2 more opportunities before the end of training camp to prove himself during Thursday's joint practice with the Seahawks and then Saturday's game against the Seahawks. Against the Indianapolis Colts last week, there was some good and there was some bad from the Canadian import, according to Matt LaFleur.
I think there was some really good moments that he had in showing the ability to progress, and then there was a couple that he forced in there. And I mean, the touchdown to Ben Sims that didn't count, we can't throw that ball. And then he had the one that got picked off, that got called back for a face mask. You can't throw that ball. So I think for his first, I would call it his extended action, I thought there was some really good moments, and then also some things that you have to learn from. But he's still getting used to the field dimensions out there from Canada.
Now, Matt LaFleur's not kidding. The Canadian football field is indeed larger than American football fields. It's wider and it's 30 yards longer, 110 yards in the playing area and then 20 yards for each of the end zones. But Taylor Elgersma has adjusted to that, and he's adjusted to pretty much everything the Packers have thrown at him. Now we'll see how he adjusts to the coaching points he got from that Colts game and see if he can earn that number 3 quarterback job. That's it from here in Green Bay. Don't forget, we'll have coverage of the joint practice, of the preseason finale, and everything else Packers for free at channel3000.com. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Jason. That final preseason game that we talked about Saturday at Lambeau, Packers take on the Seahawks with kickoff set for 3. And boy, that name sounds very football.
It does, yeah.
Football
from up north, you could say.
Exactly. And we're talking football from right around here at a much younger level. Soon.
At a much younger level, but you're right, even sooner than we'll see the Packers still to come in sports. High school football is on the horizon. We preview our game of the week next on News 3 Now. Back in the 1940s, a Milwaukee restaurant owner, George Webb, boldly predicted a 12-game winning streak for the Brewers, adding that the city deserves free burgers, and don't we all? And thus, the best promotion in sports was born. Last week, for the 3rd time since, the Crew won 12 games in a row, and today, the burgers flowed. The restaurant is planning on giving away nearly 200,000 burgers over the next 5 days, but for some fans, it's not all about the burgers.
I'm just loving this. The burger is fun, but it's all about winning. It's all about the enthusiasm and just, a lifelong dream. Maybe this is the year. I think most people feel that way. We've never won a World Series. I'm ready to go.
And we are too. We share Barb's passion. Back in Chicago tonight, looking to avoid their first 3-game losing streak since early May, chasing 2 in the 9th, and Danny Jansen jolts some life into the comeback. Call it an RBI and a single in a 1-run game. Later, bases loaded for William Contreras, who rips a rocket to the right side that's snared by Nico Horner. The former Mallard steals the Brewers' hearts, who lose their 3rd straight. 4-3, the final score. By this time tomorrow, we'll be able to say that high school football is finally here. That's right. In week 1, we don't need to wait till Friday for football. It kicks off tomorrow, which means our game of the week will come early, too, when 2 Titan teams face off. Sun Prairie East traveling to Verona. For the Wildcats, they want their school's 83rd season of football to be their best yet and continue their Big 8 dominance.
These seniors that are out here have gone, 21 straight in the conference. They'd like to keep that thing rolling, but right now it's a day at a time, man. We just got to keep, chopping wood, and iron sharpens iron every day. The kids' mindset is that we're finishing the job and leaving no doubt, so that's their goal every day of practice.
On the Sun Prairie side, they'll be riding their senior running back Brady Kaufman, hopefully to a whole lot of wins. He's on pace to break the Sun Prairie all-time rushing record this year. Kaufman and the Cardinal head coach say they just can't wait to get back on the gridiron.
Man, it's always like the day before Christmas Eve, right? You're just excited. You can't sleep. You want to see what's going to happen the next day. And unfortunately, you got to wait all day long for 7 o'clock to roll around. But the New Year is always exciting, especially the first game.
Let's hoop. Team Giannis make that team Greece, and Giannis played Latvia in an international friendly. The Greek Freaks' first action in months did not disappoint. How about that fader dipping into Dirk's bag? What a shot. And later, he goes back to the old faithful, dunking all over the competition. Only played 15 minutes, but you wouldn't know it by his box score. 25 points to go with 10 rebounds. It was raining buckets for the Greek Freak as he leads his team to the win. But there's a big difference between raining buckets and actual rain. Alex tells you if we can expect any of that next on News 3 Now.
In California. Hey, look at that. Look who's working.
I know. Yeah.
This is at an ice cream parlor. Sunday, El Dorado County Sheriff's deputies went to Camp Richardson in South Lake Tahoe. They could barely believe their eyes when they saw this large bear behind the counter. With some encouragement, the bear left, only after showing a little interest in the strawberry ice cream. Seriously, the fuzzy intruder caused a minor bit of property damage and left little to clean up. And did leave lots of ice cream for us. How unbelievable is that picture?
Can you blame the guy? I mean,
no, but I would, I don't know how people respond to that.
Well, that's a good way to clean the floor. You lick everything up.
Now I think I know I'm afraid of bears, not spiders. We were talking about that
Yeah,
earlier.
we were talking about spiders. Yeah. I'm not. They do their job. We'll put it that way.
Spiders eat mosquitoes.
That's right.
I did appreciate the strawberry ice cream, though. That was pretty
I wonder
good.
if that's true.
That was.
Anyway, our producer's laughing.
I just got it. Sorry.
Anyway,
Been a
probably
long day.
like the chocolate, like the rest of us. But we've got some beautiful weather and really minor rain.
Minor rain Friday night and beautiful temperatures, but just heads up, tomorrow morning, take it easy on the road. We're going to have likely some dense fog out there. So just slow it down and give yourself a little extra time tomorrow morning.
All right, thanks so much for joining us on News 3 Now at 10. Coming up next is The Late Show. Our next show, of course, tomorrow morning at 4:30. And then you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.